Hello and welcome to On the Sofa. I'm Monya and tonight joining me is Susan.
Hello.
We love our clan stories and we have a whole section on the website dedicated to around 200 Scottish clans, along with many blogs, photos and features. There are over 500 clan and family associations registered around the world, and we love learning bits of history and hearing from our customers how they explored their heritage and traced their roots. We are by no means experts, we're just really keen to share the information. We also love digging into the often bloody and brutal stories. I get maybe a bit carried away with the ghost stories. We also love to highlight the lesser known bits of Scottish clan history and the work of clan societies around the world. So don't hesitate to chip in if we get anything wrong or you've got more to add.
Okay, so Wallace is actually our clan of the month for December. Our marketing manager, Emily, who is running the tech tonight, you can't see her, but she is here, is very excited as this is her clan. Every month we choose a clan and celebrate their history, castles, famous faces, and an interview or two with interesting people from the clan or society. We always welcome your input, so if it's your clan's turn and you have stories to share, then please do let us know. It's so intriguing for us to hear the journey of Scots overseas and how they ended up there, along with how you continue to celebrate heritage in so many different ways.
So hello to Thelma and Roger in Germany watching. Thank you for joining us again tonight. Two of our regulars. So people all over the world know of Clan Wallace, probably thanks to William Wallace and his cries of freedom, as immortalised in the film Braveheart. So how much do you know about the history of the clan? So that's what we're going to be delving into tonight as we take a deep dive into this historic family. So hello to Rebecca as well in Florida. Thank you for joining us, another one of our regulars. So I'd love to hear what you think of the Wallace Tartans tonight, Rebecca. There are a few possible theories as to where the Wallaces come from.
Okay, so one of the first is that the name could be derived from the Old French word Wales, meaning Welshman. So the origins of the clan could actually lie in Wales rather than Scotland. Shocker.
I know.
These Welsh Wallaces are likely to have come north under the encouragement of King David I of Scotland, who gave grants to southern Norman nobles to relocate. It's also possible that the Wallaces were Britons who came north to settle in Strathclyde in the 10th century. The name was common in Renfrewshire and in Ayrshire at the time, which bolsters this second theory.
So yet another possibility is that they were originally a Shropshire family who travelled to Scotland with the Stuarts. Whatever the origin of the Wallace family, the first record of the name in Scotland is that of Richard Wallensis. So he was granted an estate in present-day Kyle, which is in the west of Scotland, and he also held lands in Kilmarnock. So it's thought that Riccarton in East Ayrshire means Richardstown, and it's actually named for Richard Wallace.
There we go. Okay, William Wallace is of course the most famous of all Scottish patriots, but the Wallace family's devotion to their country didn't start with him. Adam Dewelles was one of the, frog in my throat there, was one of the signatories of the Ragman Rolls, in which Scottish nobility pledged allegiance to Edward I of England in 1296, which is quite a long time ago.
Yes, very old clan.
Yeah. His son, Malcolm of Elderslie, however, was one of only a handful of Scottish nobles who refused to sign the document and swear loyalty to the English king. Unfortunately, this resulted in the execution of both Malcolm and his eldest son, Andrew. So not a great end there.
Bit brutal.
Yeah.
So some sources say that Malcolm was the father of William Wallace, and upon his father's execution, he fled to Dundee with his mother. However, William Wallace's seal was recovered in 1999, and it states that he was the son of Alan Wallace of Ayrshire, so probably not Malcolm. Whoever his father was, William Wallace certainly didn't subscribe to their views. He rebelled against Edward I's rule and became Scotland's most well-known freedom fighter, becoming heavily involved in the Scottish Wars of Independence during the late 13th and 14th century. Along with Andrew de Moray, William Wallace led the Scots to victory over the English at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. Emily's popped a wee photo up there for you to see. Looks rather horrific, as you could imagine. So despite having fewer men, the Scottish forces had a tactical advantage by taking the higher ground and forcing the English to cross over a narrow bridge. After their victory, Wallace was knighted as the Guardian of Scotland and commander of its army.
Okay. He also led the Scots the following year at the Battle of Falkirk, but his troops were defeated by the English, who had more than double the number of men on their side. So that's not a good start, really, is it? Robert the Bruce took over as Guardian of Scotland in 1298, and Wallace's movements were vague until his capture in 1305. During trial, he was found guilty of treason and was hanged, drawn, and quartered. Again. It's not the jolliest story, is it? His head was displayed on a pike on London Bridge, and his limbs were sent to Newcastle, Berwick, Stirling, and Perth as warnings to the distant Scottish armies. Dearie me. It seems fitting that one of Scotland's most famous historical figures may have stuck around in his home country for a good 700 years after his untimely execution.
Enough of a deterrent for me, I would say.
I would say so.
Not that I need one, but bit brutal.
Yeah. Oh, we must say hi to Diane.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Diane. So, like Susan said, it's possible that William Wallace's ghost has stuck around all this time. So it's said that he wanders the ruins of Ardrossan Castle in Ayrshire on stormy nights. Ardrossan was the site of infamous bloodbath Wallace's Larder, where Wallace lured his English enemies from safety, slaughtered them, and disposed of their bodies in the castle's dungeon. So, I mean, you can see why the English maybe weren't big fans.
Yeah, not the top guy for this. So
since then, the Wallaces have continued to take a prominent role in Scottish history. Several members of the clan showed their support for the royalist forces of King Charles Stuart during Oliver Cromwell's Puritan Revolution in the 1600s.
Also in the 1600s, Hugh Wallace of Craigie was involved in promoting Nova Scotia as a Scottish colony. He was awarded the title of Baronet of Nova Scotia in 1669. And to this day, a high percentage of the population of Nova Scotia is of Scottish descent. And we wonder how many of these are actually Wallaces. We don't know.
Let us know if you're a Nova Scotian Wallace watching.
Please do. By 1629, England already had several overseas colonies, including Ireland, North America, and the West Indies. Scotland, however, had none, so was keen to catch up.
So the first Scottish settlement was Nova Scotia, after King James VI of Scotland and the 1st of England granted a charter for the foundation of a colony to Sir William Alexander from Minchtree. It proved difficult to get skilled Scots to emigrate to Nova Scotia, which actually is Latin for New Scotland. So James VI created a new order of baronets. This meant that any person who funded 6 skilled labourers or artisans to set up a new life in Nova Scotia would be given the title of baronet. They would also become a landowner in Nova Scotia as well, so not a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
And as Susan mentioned, in 1669, Hugh Wallace of Craigie became a baronet of Nova Scotia. Each baronet was paid 1,000 marks, which is old Scottish currency, for his barony, and a further 2,000 marks to provide for the 6 Scottish labourers over the 2 years.
In return, Wallace received his title as well as 16,000 acres of land in Nova Scotia. That's a fair amount there.
Rather a lot, yeah.
There's even a town named after Wallace in Nova Scotia. It's a small village in rural Cumberland County. It was originally named Remshig, bit of a strange name there, which means the place between in Micmac language of the indigenous people of the area. In 1825, the name was changed to Wallace to commemorate William Wallace, as well as Michael Wallace's position as Treasurer of Nova Scotia. There's still a big Scottish influence in Nova Scotia today, and the Scots diaspora make up the largest ethnic group in the province, with 29.3% of its population being of Scottish descent.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, it's actually, isn't it?
Yeah. So more modernly, the clan chief today is actually Andrew Robert Wallace, and he's the 36th chief of the clan and took the title upon the death of the previous chief in 2016, who was his father, Ian Francis Wallace. So you can see Andrew Robert Wallace on the screen there in his Wallace Tartan. There are also many castles around Scotland which belong to the Wallace clan, or did at one point at least. One of the most prominent is Craigie Castle in South Ayrshire, located around 4 miles southeast of Kilmarnock and 1 mile southeast of Craigie Village. The castle is one of the earliest buildings in the area and was built in the 12th century. So it was originally built for the Lindsay clan, but it became Wallace property through John Wallace of Riccarton, who married the last heir of the Lindsay family. The Wallaces lived in the castle until 1588, when they moved to nearby Newton Castle, and Craigie Castle was left to fall into disrepair, which is quite a shame. I'm sure it was beautiful in its heyday. And some people believe that this is actually the birthplace of William Wallace. So worth a wee ghost hunt there. I mean, I would probably rather haunt my childhood home than the place I left a bunch of soldiers in a dungeon.
That's very true, yeah. The first one sounds like the best option.
So hello to Luke Smith as well. Thank you for joining us, Luke.
Okay. Auchenbathy Tower, that's a good name. Auchenbathy Tower is another of Clan Wallace's seats. It is now in ruins. Oh, it's actually another one. That's not good. And is located in Renfrewshire near Glasgow. It was once held by the Wallaces of Elderslie. Close to the tower is a small hill known as Wallace's Knout, but it's said that William Wallace fought off English attackers. Finally, we have Carnell House near the village of Hurlford. So it's roughly 5 miles southeast of Kilmarnock. That one's looking a bit more like it's in action. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah, at least they looked after one of them well enough.
This house was built by the Wallaces in 1750. It's remained in the hands of the family ever since, and today it serves as a luxury accommodation and private hospitality. So no, I think if I was a ghost, I would go to that one. That's the one I'd go to. Trip to the spa, I think, or something like that.
I wouldn't mind a visit there. So the motto of the clan is Pro Libertate, which translates as for liberty, which is not too dissimilar to William Wallace's freedom battle cry. I'm sure you will agree. So the clan's badge shows an armoured arm holding a sword aloft, which you can see on the screen there. And this may be, again, a nod to William Wallace's two-handed sword, which can be seen on display at the National Wallace Monument in Stirling. It's well worth a visit. So the most common Wallace tartan is the Wallace Modern, which dates back to 1842, which may sound old, but it's actually quite modern if you think how far back the clan goes. The modern tartan features vibrant shades of red, black and yellow in comparison to the Wallace Ancient, which has more muted tones, including a red that's verging on orange. So I actually have a mini kilt in the Wallace Modern tartan. It's one of my favourites. So I've got it on now. I should model it now. I'll do a wee spin for you.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can you see? Oh.
You need to move. There you go.
Little spin of my Wallace kilt.
Beautiful. Okay. Even more muted is the Wallace Weathered, which includes lovely earthy colours inspired by Scottish weather. Imagine a kilt that's been subjected to wind, rain, and even a spot of sunshine. You've got the idea. All seasons here in Scotland, so yeah.
All in one day.
Yeah, all in one day. Finally, the Wallace Hunting is a green tartan, designed to act like camouflage for clan members when they are out hunting.
Which does make sense. I think the red might be a bit much while
you might
trying to blend in.
You'll probably be spotted quite easily. Yeah.
So there are many other famous Wallaces other than just freedom fighter William. The clan actually has another famous William, Professor Wallace, who was born in Fife in 1768, and he actually devoted his life to the study of mathematics. So by the age of 20, he was a celebrated academic with a reputation as a renowned master of algebra, trigonometry, geometry, navigations, and even astronomy. He was trying to put everyone else to shame with his accomplishments.
Very clever.
So by 1819, William Wallace, the mathematician, had taken the position of Chair of Mathematics at the University of Edinburgh. And upon his retirement, he actually received the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws. So in later years, he was highly regarded for his instrumental role in the erection of two of Edinburgh's more famous monuments, the Observatory on Calton Hill and the statue of fellow mathematician John Napier, which today stands in the tower of Merchiston Castle. So yeah, I didn't realise that it was a William Wallace that we owe these monuments to.
I know.
That's quite good. Oh, Rebecca likes the weathered Wallace tartan. It's quite a nice one. It's not as vibrant as the modern that you
Sort of
see
softer.
there. Yeah, it's a nice one.
Softer tones. Okay.
So now we have a few questions.
Yeah, we have a few questions.
So the first one we've been asked is, I'd like to find out more about William Wallace. When I come to Scotland, where should I go?
Okay, the National Wallace Monument is a must, definitely a must-see.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best known of all the monuments and usually attracts more than 100,000 visitors a year, so that's a fair number of people going to see it. So visiting is a really historical experience, as the tour guides are dressed in period clothing while acting and speaking like a citizen from Wallace's era, so that would be quite good fun, actually, isn't it?
Step back into the past.
Great family day out, and you won't want to miss it. Not to mention, there's a bit of a workout climbing the 246 steps to take the views from the crown at the top of the monument.
Yeah, I went when I was younger, and definitely take breaks.
Take some water.
The steps, it's a long climb, and the top is very windy as well. So wrap up warm no matter what the weather. Scotland will be windy, you can guarantee it. But it's beautiful. The views are amazing, and I mean, like we said earlier, the William Wallace's two-handed sword is there, so you've got a lot of interesting history to learn about as well.
Okay, so worth the climb.
Definitely, I would say so.
Okay, so that isn't the only monument dedicated to William, though. There are apparently over 20 across Scotland.
Oh wow, didn't
realise
that.
Someone will have to do a hunt, and then we should do a map. We should put a map together.
A Wallace.
Yeah.
A Wallace map.
Yeah. And there's a particularly poignant one in Rob Royston on the outskirts of Glasgow, as this is where Wallace spent his last few hours of freedom before being captured.
Maybe a good place to visit. I'm not sure. Rebecca has asked if the main monument is in Stirling, so if it's the Wallace Monument, and it is. It's the sort of, as you go into Stirling, it's probably the first thing you'll see. There's a Stirling Castle on one hill and Wallace Monument on the other, so it's very hard to miss, and it's well worth a visit, Rebecca, if you're coming over to Scotland and taking a day trip to Stirling. So our next question is, what is the meaning of the colours on the tartan? So people like to imagine that there's some sort of system of colour symbolism in tartans, where you can say red means courage and white means purity. But the reality is that no such system actually exists. There certainly doesn't stop people trying to make one, however. So if you're that way inclined, then go ahead. But when speaking of the use of tartan historically, you can draw a few conclusions from the colours, but not quite the symbolism that you might imagine. For instance, the red of the Wallace Modern, it was a very expensive colour to obtain with natural dyes. So someone wearing the tartan with a lot of red in it was more likely to have a lot of wealth. So nice rich clan potentially there for the Wallaces. One might also wear a bright coloured tartan in an attempt to show off one's status, but a dark earth tone tartan might be chosen to blend in with the environment or someone on the hunt, which again, you've got the Wallace hunting, which is more green, and so it's a lot more muted than the bright red.
So just staying undercover almost.
Yes, a bit more muted.
Yeah, I think I do like the more muted ones, but I guess I mean, I suppose now it's probably just more personal preference, isn't it?
Definitely. It's nice that you've got options within some of the clans.
And someone has also asked, are there any groups dedicated to Clan Wallace? The answer is yes. The Wallace Clan Society was founded in Texas in 1966, and it's dedicated to promoting the history of and education about Scotland. In particular, Scotland's great patriot, Sir William Wallace. The Society has over 1,400 members in the United States, Canada, Scotland, England, France, and as far off as Hong Kong. So quite widespread all around the world. Also Australia and New Zealand. Emily has just joined and is looking forward to getting more involved. So we'll maybe have some news soon about what she's been up to.
To share your interesting facts. 1,401 members now.
Ah, yes.
So thank you for joining us tonight to learn all about Clan Wallace. If you've got any Wallace stories, any questions, please do send them in. We'll be doing a blog of some of our lovely customers' Wallace stories and history. So we always love to hear from you.
Yeah. Get in touch.
Yes. So next week is all about gift wrap, and we've got a lovely interview with Paper Parade, which is a local stationer here in Edinburgh, about Christmas gift wrapping and some top tips as well. So join us next week, and hopefully you've got your Christmas presents by then.
You have them at the ready.
Yeah, ready to wrap along with us.
So it's a deadline to have your presents, and then you can wrap them on the night.
Get them by Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.